a very good evening to each and every one of you joining me, Miss Belinda Scandal, for this week's episode of Your Manchester. And oh my, what a show we have got for you today, everybody. It is manic. We're going to be speaking about the Shawshank Redemption very, very soon. A fabulous new interpretation of that classic 1994 film. As well as that, we are also going into the Hummingbirds, as I am joined today by Mr. Michael Adams. How are you?
I'm all right, how are you?
I nearly called you Mark Llewellyn then, I have to say.
We look quite similar, so I'll let you off.
Nothing like, is it? How are you?
I'm all right.
You've been busy this week. Because
very busy.
Emmerdale is 50 years old.
It is indeed,
You've been able to see all this long before it was even out.
Yeah. So we've had a big storm being filmed in the village. That all kick-started in about, August time.
Yeah.
And that started on Sunday. It started airing. So we had Harriet was on a quad bike, and the quad bike turned over and then landed on top of it and then blew up.
Oh.
And then on Monday night, we had Sam Dingle was chased by some cows and got impaled by a tractor.
He got fucked.
Yeah, he did. Lucky him. And then on last night's show, poor Liv was hit by a caravan.
A what?
A caravan.
I guess it wasn't a static home then, was it?
It wasn't, no. So it's all been happening at Emmerdale.
It's going on, isn't it? Now, this is 50 years.
Times have changed since Dolly Skilbeck and
it was such a peaceful programme.
It was. How times
I remember
have changed.
King Charles just the other day at the NTAs saying how much he admires the fact that they stuck to the agricultural side of it. Not so much when you watch this week's.
No. I mean, we had the cows, we had the tractors. It's just, I can't quite imagine Amos Brayley being impaled on a tractor.
It was that dramatic this week. I almost expected a house to fall on Kim Tate.
It was very Wizard of Oz, wasn't it?
Very much so.
And it still continues. It's all going on all throughout this week.
And you got a spoiler to give us?
There'll be more deaths.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, these characters that are playing these, the actors that are playing these characters must be really disappointed they've got to 50 years of seeing all this go on, and then they must read a script and such a person dies.
I imagine so, but then again, to say that you've died in the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, it's the one that we're repeating.
Oh, yeah. Imagine how good that'll be.
It'll be fantastic. And of course, we're talking about anniversaries. BBC,
yes,
100 years old.
Nearly as old as you.
Not far off. It's quite amazing. All the things.
Do you have a favourite BBC show from across the years?
Yes, it will always be Dallas, because that used to air Wednesdays 8 p.m. Which is strangely enough why this programme airs on Wednesday 8 p.m. It used to be Wogan. I used to like watching Wogan, and then it used to be it used to be Dallas then Wogan.
All right.
Yes. That's the way it used to be back in the day.
I like Blue Peter, me.
Blue Peter.
Or Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. Absolutely fantastic.
Look at it, Doctor Who today.
Thank you. I'm trying my best to look Doctor Who. 100 years of the BBC is fantastic. Certain films that touch people's hearts, and one of them is The Shawshank Redemption. Now, I was lucky enough to speak to Ben Onwukwe about this production, and this is what he had to say. And joining us now from that very production is Ben. Welcome, Ben. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Lovely to speak to you. I'm speaking to you from sunny Milton Keynes.
So you've been looking forward to the Manchester weather then here?
Oh, I can't wait. I've heard we might get a bit of rain, but that's a possibility. Who knows?
Now, Shawshank Redemption, it's a power to itself, isn't it? I mean, it's based on the 1982 novella, then it became a film in 1994, and then it's going to be right here from the 31st to the 5th of November. What can we expect from this production?
Well, what you can expect is a powerhouse production of a fantastic story by Stephen King, and of course elevated to cinema scope by the film Shawshank Redemption, starring Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins. But in this one, it's starring Ben Onwukwe and Joe Absalom. But it encapsulates both of those forms of the piece, the book and the film, and it's fantastic. It's got to be seen. That's what I say anyway.
So for those people that don't know Shawshank Redemption, I mean, I pity them. It was a fantastic film. It's one that's very close to my heart. What is the story behind this?
Well, the story, essentially, it's set in a prison for lifers. Yes, a penitentiary, the Shawshank Penitentiary, where they're the most extreme criminals in American society, encapsulated for that period of life. And it focuses on the meeting between these two characters, Red, that I play, which incidentally, when it was first written, was an Irishman, hence because he was a red-headed Irishman. But of course, by the time it became a movie, it was a black man called Red. But anyway, these two guys meet. Red, who's a self-confessed murderer. The other character, Andy Dufresne, is been framed. He's been framed, and he's in there because he's been framed for murders that he didn't commit. And gradually, their relationship evolves, and they become such a team. They have such rapport because they see the good in each other, and it's all about their relationship that develops over 20 odd years.
20 odd years. I mean, that's a lot to get in. From the film to the play, what differences have been made?
Well, obviously, you can't get the wide scope that a cinema can do, but what we can do is actually pick out the details of character, the moments that are really intense between these two people, and the huge array of other characters that are there, that are the driving force of this piece, because this is a place where a lot of men with a lot of testosterone and bullying and gang rape, can I say that word?
Yes.
It occurs, and a lot of violence. As Red says right at the beginning, it's a place full of violence and corruption. And I
mean, I think from this, we're certainly gonna on the stage, we're gonna get a lot more of the heart than perhaps what we do when we're staring at a big screen. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I think so. You'll feel much closer to the characters because we're quite close to you, right up there, you know? And of course, you'll see the intimacy that develops between these two characters. It will be fantastic. And there's lots of incidental music that helps you get into the different changes of period, because it begins in the 50s and ends up in the 70s. Can you imagine? So you get the musical underscoring that helps to remind us where we are.
Now, a lot of people will remember you from as being a recall in London's Burning.
Very well remembered, yes.
I mean, that was a fun. Do you seem to take on projects that are always changes within the mind that make people think?
Yes, I think you're right. I'm one of those chameleon actors. Is that a good word to say? Where you rather inhabit characters that are furthest away from the last one you were. I was a hunky firefighter for 10 years, you know, which I'm not a hunky guy really, but I liked to play that character because, again, he was a good man, a reliable man, a conscientious man, but flawed like everybody else. And it's people connected with the whole show, London's Burning, in that period. It was the days when there was only 3 channels. Do you remember those days? Are you old enough to remember that?
I do remember that. That's why I've got the very low fringe that you can't see all the age.
Oh, well, there you go. There was a time, I mean, young people don't know what you're talking about. Well, only 3 channels? You mean you couldn't have all those choices? There was no choice, was there?
And you had to watch it there and then, didn't you?
I had to watch it there and then. Everybody watched it. So as the years have kind of elapsed, people say, oh, we used to watch it with Gran. And all the families sit down and watch these kind of things. Not anymore, really.
Ever so true. You've had a 30-year stage career. Is this, would you say, at the moment, one of the pinnacles of your career?
It's one of my highlights, absolutely. It's such a wonderful piece to be in. It's one of those captivating stories that everybody should see. It's all about hope, and it's in the title, Redemption. And we all need redemption, don't we? And we all need hope.
I'm trying not to draw too many comparisons between your character and the actor that played your character, Ellis Red Redding. But I mean, how are you bringing us the character? Are we seeing any comparisons?
Well, there's a certain amount of comparisons. I'm a similar age to what Morgan was when he played the part. So I guess that in that way, I'm a brown-skinned man. I'm able to inhabit the southern tones that he had of that period. Apart from that, there is no real connection. It's me. It's Ben doing this character. Red Redding is a character on a page, you know, and can be interpreted as a character that fits into this scheme of the Shawshank, that prison. And he's the fixer in there, you know, and that's who I'm playing. And one of his lines is, you know, there really is no question. I got to get busy living or get busy dying.
Wow.
And that's one of my favorite lines of the play, you know, because
Powerful words.
that's
Powerful
what
words.
Andy tells him, and he that stays in his brain even when he finally gets paroled. And there's that image of a man who finally gets paroled after 30 years, and it focuses on his adaptation to life on the outside, which he's not experienced for 30 years, and trying to reacquaint himself with the real world. It's hard to actually visualize that, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it
You know,
really
but
is.
like
I'm really
coming
looking forward to this. I can't wait to see it. 31st to the 5th of November. For now, though, Ben, thanks so much for your
It's
time.
lovely speaking to you. Look forward to seeing you in Manchester. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Well, how fantastic is that? I can't wait to see that production. You've been busy, though. You've been speaking to a group today, haven't you?
I have, yes. They're called the Hummingbirds. They're from Liverpool, and they're about to release their second follow-up album. Their last one was back in 2016, and this one, it's all live.
So I'm really chuffed to be joined by Richie Smith, the drummer in the Hummingbirds now. Hello to you, Richie.
Hello, mate. From somewhere in Liverpool in a car park.
Oh, I love a bit of Liverpool. Or whereabouts in Liverpool are you today?
At the minute, I'm just on Edge Lane.
I see. I like Albert Dock, me. You know, go down, bit of food, and then you've got, of course, just up the road, you've got the where the Beatles were founded. What was it called? The Cavern Club.
Yeah.
Have you ever performed there before?
Hundreds of times.
Really? My
Hundreds of
goodness,
times.
and of
But
course.
for people who don't, a lot of people do know, but that's not the original Cavern. The original Cavern got filled in the 80s.
I heard that, yeah.
But it's the next. It's as close as you're going to get it, to be honest. And Paul McCartney has played in this Cavern a couple of times, so it counts.
It counts. I'll let you have it. So, of course, you guys are from Liverpool, and you cite some of, your inspirations, such as the Beatles, the Lightning Seeds, the Zootons. Tell me about how you guys were founded back in 2011.
So it started out with the singer Jay and Matty, who plays rhythm guitar also, and they went to watch a band who we ended up becoming quite close with, called Young Rebel Set, from Stockton, and they went and seen him in Liverpool, and then they were like, God, that's great, it's kind of what we want. It's kind of what the Beatles were dealt with John Lennon and Elvis, I suppose, but on a minuscule scale. And then they did some songs, done a show, and then the guy who owned the venue where he'd done the show said, you need a band. And Jay knew Michael, our lead guitarist from school, knew he was good, knew he was active playing, and then I went to college with Michael, so Michael asked me to join him. And then about a year or two later, I met Ryan, because I was playing at another show, and he come up and just spoke to me about music. Then I invited him along to one of our shows, and then I said to Jay, this is Ryan, he plays bass, he'd be happy to play for us, and like that, Ryan was in.
And the rest is history.
That's it, yeah.
So, of course, your first album was received with critical acclaim back in 2016. Tell me a bit about the formation of that, and then what you guys have been up to since then.
So the first album, it was like a compilation almost of some EPs that we released beforehand, along with extra tracks that we hadn't released, of course. It took a while to record. It was pretty much done everything by ourselves. Even the artwork for it was taken on an iPhone, from a video shoot. And
nothing wrong with an iPhone camera.
No, it still takes me breath away looking at it, thinking it's on a phone. And then we done a pledge campaign, which went very well, and we released the album. And then we obviously toured that, and then we just done a lot. We were on the road a hell of a lot, all over the place, all over Europe, Scandinavia and whatnot. And then I'd say just before COVID, it kind of went quiet because we weren't kids anymore. We have to make some money, so we all have jobs and stuff. But then with this new album, it come out of nowhere. It was accidental, I suppose. We had a lot of time in our hands with COVID, and then we got, let's try and write a song for something to do, and it was never going to aim towards an album. It was just for fun, like record songs, but just to keep them for ourselves. But we thought, you know what, they're not bad songs. People should hear them.
And it's called Live from the Nave. So tell me
That's
what we can
EP,
expect.
yeah.
Yeah. So this is the new music that you've been producing, and it's all sort of live as well, isn't it?
It's 100% live. So we've seen another band do this live shooting there, and it's a beautiful place in Leeds. It's an old church that you've transformed into a studio, and it just looked awesome. And then, in my opinion, it sounds better than the actual album track. So again, this was an accident. We just thought, to start a campaign and get the buzz and the ball rolling for this new album, we should get some live videos, and it ended up coming out so good, and the video looks so good. We thought, let's do a little EP, and people can kind of have a taste of what the album is going to be. So yeah, that was also accidental, but we were just so happy with it. We couldn't just use it for promo. It's just, this should be available to people.
Well, I've got here that a lot of your music, it takes inspiration from love and relationships. I hope there's nothing soppy on there, my friend. However, I have been listening to some of those live songs earlier today, and they do sound great. You're like a mix of country, Americana, indie. So if you like any of that, then you'll like your new stuff. Where can people get their hands on it?
All major streaming platforms, of course. There's no physical copies as yet. We are thinking about doing vinyls.
Love a good vinyl.
Literally limited edition, a couple of hundred copies. They'll be coming towards Christmas, maybe a little bit after. But yeah, Spotify, iTunes. You can watch the whole show in full. It's about half an hour long, and it's you see the ins and outs of it, how it works, kind of things in between. You finish a track, you go and listen back to it. You can watch all of that on our YouTube channel. So, if there is people like, how does it work? And you kind of see what it's like a day in the life when you're doing live shoots like that.
Sounds good to me, mate. Well, have a fantastic day. Cheers for joining us. And
Thanks for
listen
having
out
me.
for that on iTunes.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Sounds great, doesn't it?
It sounds proper good music, yeah.
And well, if music's not your thing, if you'd rather get cosy and sit down in front of the telly, I know somebody who knows everything that's on the box. It's Hayley Cartwright.
Hi, I'm Hayley and welcome to this week's On The Box. How's everyone doing? Now, the first thing I want to recommend is a really hard watch, but it's absolutely compelling viewing. And it's about Jeffrey Dahmer, the murderer. The Jeffrey Dahmer story is available on Netflix, and it's told from the point of view of the victims. Like I say, it's really hard watch, but if you can watch it, it's very compelling. On ITV, on the ITV Hub, you can watch the series Hellcats. There's 22 or 23 episodes on there, and it's about a college cheerleading squad and also about the football squads and college, and about all the politics that surround those. So yeah, that's interesting. Do watch it, and it's a very easy watch as well, especially for autumn nights. Also, we have The House Across the Street. This is new for this week, and it stars Shirley Henderson, and it's about a mum who leads the search for a girl who's disappeared. We also have something else new this week, and it is Sunday Boy. This is available on All 4. You can catch all the episodes. You can watch it each week, or you can watch them all on All 4. And it's about Danny, who struggles to cope with reality. That's it from me. I shall catch you next time. And remember, stronger together. Bye.
Here right now at the Palace Theatre is the fabulous Jersey Boys. I spoke to one of the cast from it. He's from up north, everybody, and his name is Dalton Wood. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hello, I'm very well. How are you?
Whereabouts are you currently as we speak right now? It's a very fancy room.
I'm just in the company manager's office. He set all this up for me, so I've just walked in and
with a Dolce Gusto in the same colour as the famous jackets that the Jersey Boys actually wear.
I think that was on purpose. I think you did that on
I
purpose.
think it's... How are you finding this? This isn't an easy role for people to do, and it's certainly not an easy role for people to sing either, is it?
No, it's a lot. It's a big show. It's a big role. But it's like everyone knows the songs. You kind of come in knowing a lot of the stuff, and it is just like the audience is just lap it up. It's one of those shows that you all know the music. You're all coming along. You're here to enjoy it. So it's great.
I'm noticing a bit of an accent there. You're from Leeds, aren't you?
That's correct. Yeah.
So how do you go about changing the voice then? I'm changing it into this renowned voice of Mr. DeVito.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little bit difficult. I felt like I I'd listened to, obviously, like there's the movie and you hear these New Jersey accents and stuff. So when I was doing the auditions, I kind of did what I thought was best. But then, like when we started auditioning, when we started rehearsing, we got a vocal coach, a dialect coach, to really help us out with that. So just to really, hone in on everything. And yeah, it was difficult, but it's there now. I hope. I think I've got it.
Now, of course, this musical features heavily the music of Jersey Boys, which can be sometimes taken as a bit cheesy, a bit quirky. But actually, within the story and within the musical, there is a whole darker side and a dramatic side to this storyline, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so much darkness to it in a sense. The story is true to life. Everything that you see happens. There's a lot of swearing in this. It's really gritty. And it is just it's a biopic. It's not it's not a Mamma Mia kind of thing where we're just like singing the songs to fit in with the storyline. It's just like it's a biopic. It's telling the story of these four men who've come up and grown and became these superstars that we all know now.
Now you're playing Tommy DeVito. Perhaps tell us a little bit about him.
Well, he was the one that started the band. So he was the one that got it all together. He got Frankie Valli into the band. He got Bob into the band. He was friends with Nick Massey already. So he was the one that started everything and put it all together. He's also the one that got the band into trouble. He went to prison. He had gambling, money issues, all that kind of thing. And yeah, he's probably the reason that we have these darker sides to the story, because he wasn't the best behaved.
So how would you describe the darker sides to the story then? I'm trying to get across to people that this is not your jukebox musical. I mean, it's been going since 2004. It's gone from strength to strength, but this is not a jukebox musical. How do we get that across to people?
Yeah, like I said, so we don't class it as a jukebox musical. It is a biopic. We are telling a true story of these four people and how it came about, and that's what it's. There's no fancy things that we're trying to hide or trying to cover anything up. We're just telling this true story, exactly how it was. And like I say, like some people are like, oh, there's a lot of swearing in it. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of that. But we're doing it because it's got to be true to life, and that's why we're doing it. We've put it so it's true to life, and that's why you see this darker side, because we're not trying to cover anything up. We're not trying to get away from anything. It's just, this is how it was. Here you go.
And it was a different era as well, wasn't it? So, I mean...
Yeah, of course, definitely.
A fabulous era, actually, to focus on. So, all right, then let's go to the other side of this then. What songs do we expect in this show?
Any 4 seasons you can imagine. We've got Oh What a Night, Begging, Can't Take My Eyes Off You. The list is Cry For Me. The list is endless. It's got all the hits. We don't really ever, apart from Can't Take My Eyes Off You, we don't actually ever do a full song just to fit it in. The show moves so quickly, so fast. It's not one of those shows where sometimes it slows down and you're kind of waiting for it to pick back up again. This show doesn't stop. It keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. So you never have a moment to just take it. You just have to take it all in. It's there right in front of you, and it keeps drilling through and keeps going. So you hear all the hits, all these songs, and they keep going back to back to back to back, and it's amazing.
Now, you seem to like the music of Frankie Valli. I mean, you appeared in Grease as well with Frankie Valli's music.
Yeah, of course. Grease is the word.
It's quite sensational. So you've also done the Carole King musical as well. Is there a particular favourite project that you've taken on so far?
This is definitely my favorite. Definitely, it's such a big musical, and it's such a big role for me as well. It's we do a lot of narration to the audience. There's a lot of direction out there, and it's so much fun, and it's so different. And we're with when we're all together, me and the 3 boys, it is just it's electric, and it feels so good, and it's such when you finish a number and you take that bow and then you get that applause, it's just such a good feeling. It's like a concert. When we go into the songs, we performing them as if we are doing a concert, or as if we are in that moment, rather than it being a jukebox musical where it just kind of blends in. So the song means something to what you're doing, whereas this is just this is what's happening. This is where the song came from. This is what's happening. Here we are at a concert. And it just feels like you feel like a superstar. It's so good. I love it.
The audiences have lapped this up, like I say, since 2004. And you're going to be with us here in Manchester from the 18th of October to the 29th of October. And I just want everybody to go and watch this. I mean, I'm sure it's probably already sold out by now, because Jersey Boys around the world is just selling out left, right, and centre. But if there is tickets available, Perhaps tell us 3 words why people should come watch this.
3 words.
Yes,
electric, fun. I'm not going to use 3 words. It's a great night out. It's just it's phenomenal, and it's just so much fun. Just come, get a drink in your hand, and just come watch the show, and you know it's great.
It is the nearest thing you're going to find people to a cinematic experience on stage. So come and watch it. Dalton Wood for now, though. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a lovely day.
How fantastic.
I know. Love a bit of Frankie Valli, though.
I do, and it's a dark story, this. It's a very,
Is it?
Yeah, it's not fun or anything.
I was thinking more like Grease, you know.
No.
Grease is the word.
The word is the word is the word. We'll not get back into that. But yeah, it's fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. Do you know what else I'm looking forward to?
What's that?
A little bit of sunshine, maybe. Paul Rudd, what's the weather going to be?
Good evening. Hello there, my lovely weather watchers, and welcome to this week's weather forecast with me, Paul Rudd. And I'm here in my garden. It's looking very autumnal at this time of year. It's a little bit chilly, and it's turning soggy this week. No one likes a soggy bottom, do they? So let's check out this week's weather details for Manchester. Here they come. Thursday is looking sunny, cloudy with rain with the temperatures of 14 degrees Celsius. Friday is looking sunny, cloudy with rain with the temperatures of 13 degrees Celsius. And as we party on through to the weekend right now, Saturday is looking sunny, cloudy with rain with the temperatures of 13 degrees Celsius, and Sunday is also looking like rain with sunny intervals at times with the temperatures of 13 degrees Celsius. So get your umbrella handy, and it's also my birthday on Friday, so happy birthday to me, 41, who'd have thought it? Alright, now it's time to hand over back to the studio for this week's brilliant episode of Your Manchester.
Well, there we go. Another fantastic show lined up for you next week. We've got so much going on. We are getting in deep with Hope Mill Theatre's production of Cinderella. It's going to be fantastic.
There's always something good going on there, isn't there?
I just love that place. It's just phenomenal. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you check out all our socials only on Your Manchester.